Hi friends, my name's Mary and I'm the owner of Harmony's Ice Closet LLC, or HIC for short. Harmony's Ice Closet is actually named after my daughter. My daughter Harmony used to be a dancer when she was a little girl, and from a very young age she did solos. I had this crazy instinct that I just needed to make something unique for her whenever she performed a solo on stage. So because of this, I started working with her coaches. They taught me everything that I knew about rhinestoning and spandex and all kinds of different fabrics. At the time, I didn't have a sewing machine, so I hand sewed everything. Usually I would buy a leotard and then I would buy appliques and other fabric that I would attach to the leotards to make those unique creations for her. So as time went on, she started to lose her love of dance. There were a lot of different factors in that, but she still loved the makeup and the hair and the costumes. So naturally, as we were spending time at our local ice rink, because her dad is a hockey player, she started to see figure skaters around the place, and she noticed that they had pretty hair and they had pretty makeup, they had costumes. So she started to learn how to skate. And eventually she joined club and she started getting lessons from our new private coach, who we've had for a few years now. One of the first things I told her coach when we started private lessons was, if she's doing anything solo, I want to design the costume. I want to be a huge part of that. The problem was, figure skating dresses are way different than dance costumes. They're constructed differently, they're very detailed, it's just a whole nother ball game. And our coach was so very patient with me, and she brought in a figure skating dress so that I could see what they looked like and how they were constructed. This started a serious deep dive into a rabbit hole for me. So that rabbit hole consisted of me watching a million YouTube videos and going to the library and checking out books about sewing and downloading TikTok, which I had never had, and watching all these tips and tricks on how to sew. And I would ask questions of anybody I knew that knew how to sew, and I really just became all consumed by it, and call it an ADHD hyperfixation, or call it, I don't know what you want to call it, maybe unhealthy, but it became an obsession and I had to learn how to sew. So, I asked my mother-in-law if she had a sewing machine, and she did. They were downsizing because they were going to be moving soon, and she gave me her old sewing machine. I stayed up every night so late trying to figure out how that thing worked, because it didn't come with a manual, because I think she lost it at some point. She probably had it for 30 years. And I mean, it was so complicated. I couldn't find any YouTube videos on that particular model, and I just kept pushing through and pushing through. So it ended in a lot of frustration. I think I cried every day for 2 weeks trying to wind a bobbin, and it was very frustrating. So I went to my husband and I said, I really want to do this, but I can't make this machine work. So he said to me, why don't you just go buy a new sewing machine? And I said, are you really okay with me doing that? Like, they're like a couple $100. I had never really spent that much on a hobby for myself. And he said yes. So I went out and I bought a sewing machine. So when I went out, I did buy a Singer heavy duty, and I joined a zillion Facebook groups on sewing with spandex and sewing for beginners. And in those groups, I searched skating wear and figure skating, and I just really tried to find my tribe. And there was this Facebook group called Spandex Doesn't Scare Me. And if you like working with spandex, or you want to work with spandex for anything like figure skating, dresses, wrestling, gymnastics, dance, anything, go join that group. It's called Spandex Doesn't Scare Me. They are the most supportive and informative people ever. I have never seen so many strangers so kind to each other. And I actually had people messaging me when I would put up these total beginner questions about, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can someone help me with this? And I'd have people in my inbox saying, oh yeah, I'll walk you through it. I'll make you a video. Just tell me what you're doing. What model machine are you using? And I mean, it was incredible. So within 2 or 3 weeks, I had made 2 or 3 figure skating dresses. Now, granted, they weren't like the nicest, but I made them. And my daughter was over the moon because she had all these practice dresses, and I rhinestoned them, and they were just really pretty and stretchy and soft and frilly, and it was just amazing. I mean, I was having such a blast. It was my favorite way to spend the weekend. So now you know why I started Harmony's Ice Closet. So how did I start making it into a business? That was the next part of what I promised to tell you today. So it all kind of happened organically for me. I would sit in the bleachers at the rink and I would watch my daughter skate with her coach, and I'd watch her during freestyle time. And when she was out there having a blast in her warm-up dresses that I made her, she started to make friends. And I would get to know these girls and I would watch them practice and I'd hear their music, and I would start to feel inspired. So there were 2 girls that I approached their parents and I said, I'm learning how to do this and I really want to practice. Can I make dresses for them? One girl in particular, I had drawn a sketch. I didn't really know her mom. And I drew her a sketch. This girl is super bubbly, super cute. It was a super cute song. And I went up to her mom, who I didn't really know well, and I said, I drew this costume and I just found this new wholesaler for fabric. Can I please make her something? And her first competition was coming up in a few months, so she was like, sure, why not, like if you want to. And it just all ballooned from there. I had so much fun sketching things and changing things and learning what people liked. And as I made them, there was another mom that came up to me and she said to me, where did you get these dresses from? Where did you get your daughter's dresses from? And I said, well, I made them. And she said, you made them? I've only seen them everywhere where they're so expensive. And I was like, well, I can make something for you, no problem. I panicked a lot after that. It was a ride because this was my first paying client. So it was really word of mouth at the beginning because I started to, I reached out and I made these costumes for those other girls for free because I was learning and I was using fabric that I had no idea anything about. I had no idea what I was doing. And this mom came up to me and she asked me to do it for her. So of course I said yes because I was like, wow, I could really make something of this. And I did, and I made the dress, and it was such a beautiful dress. I mean, hot pink, lots of stones. You know who you are if you're watching this video, and you killed it out there in it, and I was so proud of you. So fast forward a couple of years, 2 years now. It's been 2 years since I started sewing, and these moms and my rink family and my best friends and my family, they have done nothing but promote me. Like, I haven't done any paid promotion or anything, and they have just over time told people, oh, Mary made this person's dress, or Mary made my daughter's dress, and oh my God, look how beautiful that is, Mary made it. And so it was all just organic feedback about what I was doing, and people started to come to me and say, hey, could you make my daughter's dress? Or some of the skaters would come to me and say, I really want a dress like this, can you make something like that? And I just said yes, and I told them up front, I don't know what I'm really doing. I've never done that before, but I'd be happy to try. So these girls have really been my biggest supporters, and their parents have been my biggest supporters, and I have been very lucky that I have this fantastic rink family who believes in me. So that is probably the biggest key to me being able to start this business. So as these parents kept coming to me and asking me if I would make dresses for their daughters, I started to realize I need to get my ducks in a row because this could grow into something big, and I need to protect myself right away because I know people and I've worked with people for a long time, and I currently work full-time for a plastic surgeon, and I know what unhappy clients can be like. So I immediately filed for an LLC, and I got my own tax ID number, and I started writing a contract and legal documentation, and building a way that I can schedule people so that I'm not super overwhelmed. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I still overbook myself, but I get it all done. I promise. So anyway, so I started to work with one of my friends who's a graphic designer. She created a logo for me and I built a Shopify website. I knew I would eventually need the Shopify website. There's still not a whole lot on there. I'm currently working on that. But I started right away. As soon as I had the inkling that this could become something, I started right away. Something I should have started was more social media. That's why I'm here now with the YouTube, because I know that I need to do it, even though I don't know what I'm doing. So you're gonna learn with me. So as soon as my LLC was approved and I got a tax ID number, I started working on the financial side of things. I knew I would need to make an initial investment in some equipment and things like that, so I made sure I had a small seed of about $500 and I opened a business banking account. I did a lot of research to find a business bank account that didn't have any monthly fees or anything like that because I knew I was going to be small to start. So I did ultimately find one. And I opened a Venmo account specifically for my business, but you do using your personal account at the same time. I made sure that I had a PayPal in line, and I started to just document what money I was spending, how I was spending it, and then what money was coming in as well. It wasn't a lot of money at the beginning. It was a slow build. Everything happened organically for me. And now that I have a solid client base with the people at my club, they pretty much all know that I make costumes now. I'm starting to expand into having some inventory of figure skating related gifts. I'm working with some local crafters. We just started a figure skating themed candle line, which I'm really excited about and I'll be introducing soon, as well as a lip gloss line that we're working on that's also figure skating related. We're working on a lot of really cool things. So local, handmade, figure skating related. It's a very niche kind of online boutique that I'm building right now. So I'll be working on some made to ready to ship dresses and apparel, things like that. So if you stay tuned, you're going to see a lot of really cool things. And for the next couple hours, I'm just going to be working on some stuff around my sewing room. If you just want to hang out, relax, and watch and listen. So thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to talk to you guys again and give you some more great updates. Thank you. Please forgive the harsh lighting and the messy hair. I have been hard at work and my phone keeps dying because I'm trying to record myself. So I actually stopped recording everything that I'm doing, and I'm just gonna get work done now because it's getting late and my husband wants me to come play Mario Party with him. So you know, that whole work-life balance thing. So I'll tune in again soon. Thank you so much for watching my first video, guys. It means the world to me.